Advent, our third week. Remembering that Advent means anticipation, great anticipation. I like to call it the delicious anticipation of what is to come. It's an expectation of something wonderful. And the Advent season is all about, yes, celebrating the birth of the one we know as our elder brother, the one who shows us the way by teaching love and acceptance and inclusion, and also the birth and the rebirth of the Christ consciousness within each one of us, recognized in Jesus the Christ and living in every person on this planet. That Christ consciousness is there. And we celebrate that. We celebrate that beauty, that awesome awareness during this Advent season. So what can we say about love that hasn't already been said? As the theme of the third week of Advent is love. Well, we all, each one of us, want love to be the impetus, the source, the drive, the northern star, the guiding light in all we think and say and do. We want that. Our hearts want that. Our hearts yearn for that to be a reality expressed through us, expressed through you, as only you can express. You are the only one on this planet who can express love the way you do. The only one. We heard this morning the 1 Corinthians 13:13. These three things remain. These three things remain. What is it? Faith, hope, and love. That's not how I learned it. Is that how you learned it? As a child, it was faith, hope, and charity. And the greatest of these is charity. Well, you know me, inquiring minds. Got to figure this out. You've heard me speak before that the Bible was written in Greek, in Koine Greek. That was the language of the time. And in the Greek language, I thought there were 4. In recent studies, there may be 8 different words in Koine Greek that mean love. So when it was first interpreted, it was interpreted as charity, love for others. In Greek, the word is actually agape. We know the word agape. It's that all-inclusive, unconditional, self and other love. And so that is the change from charity to love. And that didn't even strike me until I was sitting with this yesterday. I'm like, wait a minute, I have an old memory come up, and that's not what I remember. Agape love, that beautiful, unconditional love. And that is the love we find in Advent. Advent love is so incredibly precious. It's a gentler love, isn't it? During the Christmas season, we tend to be softer with ourselves and others, more accepting, have a more generous heart during Advent. When there's the lights and the celebration and our hearts are lifted, there's a tendency to lean more towards love, towards charity, towards being kind, being kinder. And there's that love that surpasses understanding that the intellect just doesn't grasp. It takes our open heart to understand and to cherish that expression of the truth of who we are, for that is our natural state. Love is our natural state. It absolutely is our natural state. We don't come into this world learning to fear or to hate. We come into the world are naturally outfitted to love, to laugh, to open our eyes to the wonder of everything that's here for us, because of course as babies we're very, it's all about us. Oh, look at everything that's for us. It's awesome. And there's a wonderment and a mystery and a delight. And that's what we find with Advent love. It allows us to go to that state, to that place of wonder that we experienced as children, as we experienced when we were younger. Well, we also heard this morning in the Daily Word, I abide in love. I am love. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Absolutely. And even though, and no matter what, and sometimes because of the things that happen in our lives, they are all there to contribute to the love of our soul. And you might think, how can that be? This breaks my heart. This wounds me. This is uncomfortable. Well, maybe those things also help remind us of our strength and the truth of the love of who we are, the depth of our love. Even those things, for in every situation, love resides. Even in the most fearful heart, love resides. And what a wonder that is, and what a security to know that no matter what happens, and perhaps because of what happens, that love is sparked within us. It's inspired within us. Perhaps it's been at rest. It's been sleeping for a while. Hasn't been real active. And those things give us an opportunity to remember who we are and to be that and to do that in the world. And to make time to get centered and still, even during this busy season. Charles Fillmore, co-founder of the Unity Movement, he said that we should quiet the mental realm. Quiet the mental realm. And that's what we do when we get centered. We're quieting our mind, we're opening our heart, and getting grounded in the moment, remembering our divinity. Yes, there's our humanity, and it's a joy also, for we get to experience this human condition, which is sometimes unpleasant and sometimes absolutely awesome. And if we were all just divine and not human, we'd be floating around in the clouds singing and laughing, I suppose. But we get to enjoy the wonder of the senses and our earth. And it's even greater when we remember our divinity. So wherever you find yourself, and you're probably finding yourself in a lot of places this holiday season, wherever you find yourself this holiday season, be the absolute space of love and unity. Kind of like tag, you're it, you're it, you're it, you're it. We're all it. Wherever we show up, whether it's going from the bedroom to the living room, or to some other activity outside of our home, be the center of love and unity. Set that as your intention when you walk out the door. Remember the affirmation, I abide in love. I am love. Do that. Be that. It sets the pattern for us throughout the Christmas season and prepares us for coming into the new year already comfortable with being the center of love and unity, already being comfortable with continuing in that space of Advent love. It's for us to practice now. That's what unity is all about. It's practical Christianity. What does that mean? It means we have to practice it. We don't get to go, oh, went to church on Sunday, we're done. Nope. We carry what we learn out through the week so that we can be that center of love. And that's the greatest living gift that we can give our world and the people around us. For we affect the energy of our planet. And so making that intention, setting that intention to be a center for love and unity is a gift to your world, both your inner world, because in that you feel peace, you bask in the serenity, you love the calm, And it serves that same living gift for the world around you. It affects the vibration. That's how powerful you are. And you are, absolutely. And so, it's up to us to be that space of love. So how? How do we find it? There's chaos, there's people upset over here, there's war, there's drones or something. There's all these things happening in our world. So how do we find the love that Daybree expects us to be? You're not going to find it in the outer world. You are it. You bring the love from you, from the overflow of who you are. It takes no energy when you allow yourself to be that space, to bask in that space. It takes absolutely nothing from you to allow that overflow to come forth. You bring it. And so what sparks love for you? Because it's different for each one of us. As many individuals as there are on the planet, there's a different path to their specific place of peace and love. We each have those things in our lives that sparks love. So it is for us to recognize what that is and do that and do more of that, especially when we find ourselves bombarded by negativity and the chaos, and all these things are real. They're real, they're facts. There's pain in the world, there's loss, there's war, there's conflict, there's confusion, there's grief. Those things are very real. And to allow yourself to bless them, allow every situation to bless your soul. So this morning, I'm going to suggest 6 different ways that you can spark the love in your heart. And you probably have 100 more. So the first one is a common one that I hear, and it's what sparks love in my heart is being with my grandchildren, or being with my children, or being with my nieces and nephews when they're little. But maybe they live far away. Call them, FaceTime with them, look at pictures, do those things to open your heart, not shut your heart with, well, I don't get to see them for 6 months, so I don't want to think about it. No, look at the pictures. Communicate, connect now. And then, when you leave your home, or even on the television set, when you see children, recognize them as your beloved. Recognize them as the same as your grandchildren or your children or your nieces and your nephews. Accept them all into your heart. And let that spark even more love. Many will say, well, it's time with my friends and my extended family. Wonderful. Do that more. Call them, text them, get together. Plan something. Even if it's 6 months from now or a year from now, it gives you the opportunity to look forward and feel connected and then start collecting whatever you're going to be doing with them to build up to that time, to create new and wonderful memories. And you don't even have to do anything fun. Just be there, to be a witness to one another, to just sit linked, arm to arm. Absolutely. And then as your heart has warmed from that experience, it brings us closer to where we want to be. And that's to see every man as our brother and every woman as our sister, without exception. And we can do that when we've opened our heart to the experience. The third one is nature. Nature can open our hearts, spark love in our hearts. So go outside. Or maybe that's not possible. Watch a documentary about some plants or animals. Watch a documentary. Check out a book or buy a book with lots and lots and lots of pictures, because you want your senses just absolutely overloaded with these wonderful pictures. Plant something outside if you can. If not, maybe a little pot in your house. Put your hands in the dirt. Absolutely. It stimulates all those pathways. We have the need to tend to things, whether it's an automobile or a plant in the garden or a child or a pet companion. We have the need to tend to something outside of ourselves, and it's a beautiful need to have. So feed the birds, water the plants, talk to the plants, all part of that beautiful energy. Take yourself to where you are fed. If it's looking at water, you got it made here, right? But even if not, you can find something on YouTube. Do you know your mind doesn't really know the difference between seeing a picture of the beach and being there? Same pathways. It still feeds you. It's not the negative ions you got for the water, but it still feeds you. So do those things. So the fourth one should be the first one, but it's not the one we think of first, and that's prayer and meditation. Absolutely. It grounds us. Prayer and meditation opens our heart. It is such a heart opener. There was a Catholic bishop, St. Francis de Sales, born in 1567. And he is noted for having said, and it's been said in different ways since then, that everyone needs to pray for 30 minutes a day. Unless you're very busy, then pray for an hour. And there's great wisdom to that. If you're very, very busy and you've got a lot on your shoulders, there's a lot of weight that you're carrying, you need even more to spend that time aware of your connection with the divine, to feel strengthened, to feel that divine guidance, that creative, that imagination that comes after we spend time, to get a different perspective. All of those things come to us after we spend time in aware connection. I don't want to say just connecting to the divine, because you always are. You can't not be connected to the divine. You have that within you, always. But to be aware, to heighten your awareness, sparks that within you. And so time and meditation. And the fifth one is to volunteer. To volunteer, to give of yourself to something else, the benefit of something else, the greater good of something else, to give of yourself. And there's so many opportunities, not only in Key West, but everywhere, to volunteer, to get outside your head, to leave whatever you're worried about behind, to do something for the good of another. You know, we committed to 40 acts of volunteer service in our community. I didn't start out saying 40 hours because we almost had that done the first week when we volunteered with the monks. So it was 40 acts of service to honor our 40th anniversary this year. And we went well beyond those 40 acts of service. Or volunteer here more. We can always use ushers, people to sing up here, our tech team, our hospitality. Or maybe you'd like one of those one-off opportunities where you just sign up for that particular thing. One and done kind of thing. We always have those on those magical sign-up sheets in the back. You know, there was a campaign in the 1980s that went something like this. Actually, it went exactly like this. Milk, it does the body good. I say volunteer, it does the body good. The entire body. Your physical body, because you're doing something, mental, emotional, spiritual. It's an entire body experience. You feel good about helping someone or something else. You're energized, even though you might have gotten tired doing it. It lifts your mental attitude to more positive and appreciation, absolute appreciation. So that's the fifth one. And the sixth one is to do something creative. Write, journal, poetry. Perhaps you sing or you dance or there's music involved, or artwork, all these art endeavors. These artistic endeavors have this ability. It's an almost magical ability to soothe our mind and our heart and also to enliven our mind and our heart. So do something along those lines, creative, something that opens your heart, and again, your worries are gone while you're doing whatever it is that you're doing. Because that's our job. Our job is to be here to love to the fullest, the absolute fullest, to bless our world. You know, we know individuals that we see them, you know, remember little Pigpen and Snoopy's, kind of the dark cloud around that. We don't want to be that, okay? And I know there's probably times in my life, don't speak to my husband about this, times, days in my life, hours in my life where I'm that little cloud, you know? But to be aware of it, so we can make the choice, we can choose again for the positive. For when you see the world through the eyes of love, you see what's right with the world. When you see the world through the eyes of fear, you see what's wrong with the world. So it's pretty easy to listen to your inner dialogue or conversation you find yourself in to know what your platform is, where you're coming from, where these words are being spoken from, where these thoughts are. Is it love or if it's fear? If it's fear, you have the opportunity every time to change that, to make a different choice. As we're here to heal our world, we'd start by healing ourselves. Now, I read a very interesting article the other day, some research about music. They've discovered that music has the ability to change your memories in a way, to create new pathways in your brain. So for example, let's say you're sitting there and you're looking at pictures, and maybe it's of when you were a kid, or maybe it's when your children were small, whatever, and you're feeling a little bit of melancholy, maybe sadness. Oh, I wish they were little again, or I wish I was with my cousins again, and this one's gone, and this one I never see, whatever it is. While you're looking at those same pictures, play in the background music. I've had the time of my life, okay? We know what that's from. Dancing on the Ceiling, okay? Dancing with, what's the other one with sun? Dancing on the Ceiling and Walking on Sunshine, or Justin Timberlake, Can't Stop the Feeling. Play one of those songs in the background as you look at these same photographs. Your energy is lifted. You feel good. It's positive. Now, this is where the study comes in. Put the music away. Next week, 6 months from now, look at those photographs again, and you will have a similar uplifted feeling. It's created new pathways. Isn't that amazing that music can do that? That's how it imprints and connects in our mind. What a beautiful thing to know and to practice. And I'm not saying that this is to take a paintbrush and to paint sunshine all over our life, okay? I know that's not the case. What I am saying is, it's up to us to heal our stuff. It's absolutely up to us to heal those things that we're carrying within us, those wounds, and we all have them. Absolutely, we all have them. And the more we heal, the greater capacity we have for love. Someone that hasn't healed their wounds has a really hard time expressing love or a generous love outward. So the more we heal, the greater capacity for love. And that's what we want, isn't it? We want to be able to stand firmly in place and say, I abide in love. I am love. Say that with me. I abide in love. I am love. Oh, yes, you are. You absolutely are. So let's carry that with us this holiday season. Let's carry this with us through the end of the year, preparing us to move into 2025, gliding, not kicking and screaming, gliding into this new year, knowing who we are and whose we are. And so it's with those thoughts that we're going to close your eyes now if you're comfortable doing so, or gaze softly at something before you as we gift ourselves with our inner time, with our quiet time. We move inward and we allow ourselves to just be present to the now. to allow the music to move us closer into the space of our hearts. As we bask in this space, allow the words I speak to be the words of your own heart. And anything that doesn't fit for you, just allow it to fall away. I abide in love. I abide in God, and God is love. I may call it all that is, or universal love. By whatever name, I abide in it, and it abides in me. It lives in me. I am love at my depth. I am the essence of love. For I carry within me that same Christ consciousness, that same divine aspect, that divinity of everyone else and of the one who walked the planet so many years ago, whose birthday we celebrate. I abide in love. I abide in Godness. I abide in goodness. And I allow my heart to open to that awareness right now. To know the depth of that awareness, to know the depth of that love as I bask for a moment in the silence, in the silence. I abide in love. I am love. And I set the intention for that to be my mantra for my life. I abide in love. I am love.
Isaiah 'twas foretold it, the rose I have in mind. With Mary we behold it, the Virgin
You can open your eyes now and gently become aware of this place and this space. Look at the beautiful faces around you who've shared this energy. We are blessed, and so it is.